How did you did this, motherfucker? You won't report. Right click report, motherfucker.
Well, seeing as you asked so nicely, Angelost,
Motherfucker.
I will tell you. First and foremost, to clarify this build, you won't be able to one-shot everyone you see in the blink of an eye, wiping out 4-man squads left, right and centre while shouting, "Get to the chopper!" This build requires good timing skills and works as a kind of very powerful ability you can use once or twice per fight, but provides the best burst damage of any weapon in the game, making this weapon right here one of the best weapons for PvP right now, and it can be used alongside any other weapon of your choice without much sacrifice. This weapon is the M44, to be more exact, the custom M44. Which M44 you use doesn't matter too much, but if you want to get the most damage per shot, the classic M44 is the best due to its higher base damage. Moving on to the build for this one-shot kill method, the weapon mod stats you'll want to go for are headshot damage and then critical damage. One must-have weapon mod in this patch is the Omega muzzle, as it works really well with every weapon, but with this build it works exceptionally well as it provides around 16% headshot damage. Now the weapon talents for this build are the bread and butter of this build and are fairly easy to unlock. The first is Provident. The last bullet of your magazine deals 60% bonus damage, which is a huge amount. The second is Proficient. The first bullet shot when out of combat has a 50% bonus chance to result in a critical hit. This is huge as well. And the final one is up to you pretty much, but I would recommend going with Competent in the third slot as it requires 399 electronics to unlock. The gear combo you want to go with is 3-piece Hunter's Faith and 3-piece Banshee due to how Banshee multiplies damage with its 3-set bonus. I simply haven't found 3 pieces of Banshee that complements my Hunter's Faith gear yet, so I'm going to use 3-piece Sentry for now, which isn't too bad. Your stat priority on your gear is as normal, stack enough firearms to unlock weapon talents, then stack stamina. On your gear, again like normal, stack armor as much as possible, but on gloves go for Marksmen rifle damage and critical hit damage. So this is essentially a gear setup that will still work really well with a second primary like an LMG. The skills you want to go for are of course booster shots for the extra 15% damage and pulse for the additional crit damage. Pulse should also put you above 10% crit chance, so when paired with the proficient weapon talent on your M44, you will have 60% crit chance on your first shot. And finally we come to talents, of which only one is highly recommended for this build, Tactical Advance. Complete a cover-to-cover move to increase weapon damage by 2% per meter covered for 10 seconds. This talent is incredibly powerful as you can get this bonus damage up to 50%, so even if you don't crit, you will still be able to one-shot most players. Taking this build for a quick PvE field test, I was able to increase the damage of one shot from 500k crit to 1.57 million k crit, a damage increase of around 300%. But this build isn't designed for PvE, there are better builds out there for Marksmen rifles in PvE. What I want to do is ensure that this build will one-shot even the tankiest of players in the Dark Zone. So, this is C. Shung. If you don't know who he is, he's one of the top theory crafters for the division, which prides himself on making the tankiest builds in every single patch. This patch, he's got a build with over 200k health and 58% armor as standard, giving him 500k toughness. Now, in order to kill this beast in one shot, some preparation is in order, and you'll have to do this for every single time you try to kill the tankiest of players, but you don't necessarily need to do it for all players. First of all, I use explosive rounds to increase my damage by 10% because special ammo has changed. I then empty my mag until there's only one round in it for the Provident weapon talent to activate for 60% damage bonus. Then I do a 25 meter cover to cover move to increase my damage by roughly 50%. I then pulse for the extra crit damage and to activate the competent weapon talent on my weapon. And finally, I boost a shot to increase damage by 15%. Now, I could have paired this with Tactical Link to increase my damage by a further 30%, but that would have been overkill as shown here. In fact, all you really need to do against most players is make sure you're on the last round of your magazine for the M44 and hit the booster shot button. Because of this, you can carry around the M44 as a second primary with one round in, and when the opportunity arises or if you're attacked, pull out your M44, boost a shot and kill. Now, on the other hand, if you see a player with an M44 doing either a random cover-to-cover move or emptying his magazine, be as evasive as possible. They might just be planning to one-shot you. If you want to counter this very powerful build which is growing in popularity, stack as much stamina and armor as you can and run with the Recovery Link ultimate. Once they've used up that supercharged round, they cannot do it again straight away, so take advantage of their rogue status and don't give them a chance to use it again. Thank you for watching, and many thanks to Seashung for the help with the testing.
Let me pee on your butt.